Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And good afternoon to you. I'm glad you're joining me from work or wherever you are today. I was going to say this morning, today. We watched the Knicks get embarrassed in Chicago last night. And now they prepare for probably the biggest game of the season. And, it's not the biggest game of the season record-wise or because of playoff competition or anything like that. It's the biggest game of the season because KP invades Madison Square Garden. And we've got to protect home court. And I'm not quite sure we can, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just being quite honest with you. But we're going to break it down and we're going to look at some ways that hopefully we can protect home court. Because we don't need any more of that brown stuff to hit the fan. Right? What we need now is for this team to step up and play with some pride, play with some heart, play like they want to protect home court. Like they said they want to be in New York. We need them to play like they want to be in New York. Now is the time to do it. We hit a stretch of games that we thought were going to be a soft stretch for the Knicks. Well, it's turning out to be nothing of the sort. It's turning out to be, so far, the worst stretch of the season. And we haven't even hit the tough spot of the schedule. Anyway, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to do right now is we're going to break down this team. We're not going to break down the team. We're going to break down this game. We're going to look at some stats from last game, and we're going to talk about what the Knicks need to do tomorrow night against the Dallas Mavericks. So sit back, relax, throw your earphones in, make sure everybody else in your office can't hear this because you don't want them teasing you about the Knicks, which I'm pretty sure a lot of them already do. Sit back and let's chill, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this thing started.
That's the jig.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks will play at home this Thursday versus the Dallas Mavericks. The game is at 8 p.m. and it's on TNT. And how bad will it be in the Garden? How bad will it be? How upset, how pissed off will James Dolan be if the Knicks get blown out in the Garden to the Dallas Mavericks and Kristaps Porzingis? That will not be pretty, ladies and gentlemen. Will not be pretty at all. The projected starters for tomorrow night: Frank Ntilikina at point guard, R.J. Barrett at shooting guard, Marcus Morris at small forward, Julius Randle at center, and Julius Randle at power forward, and Taj Gibson at center. That's your projected starters for the New York Knicks. Injuries: Mitchell Robinson still out with a concussion. And look, we need Mitchell Robinson. The Chicago Bulls scored 52 points in the paint last night. You need a rim protector in there. Because without Mitchell Robinson, we have no rim protectors on the floor. So we need Mitch back. But we need him back healthy. And most of all, we need him to be healthy just for humans purposes. We just want him to be healthy. So he's got to take care of that concussion. Elfrid Payton's still out with a right hamstring. Reggie Bullock, he's still out. And who knows when Reggie Bullock is going to be back. The starters for the Dallas Mavericks: Luka Doncic, he's starting at point guard. Seth Curry at shooting guard. Dorian Finney-Smith at small forward. Kristaps Porzingis at power forward. And Maxi Kleber at center. There are no injuries to report at this time for the Dallas Mavericks. But guess what? Kristaps Porzingis isn't the only person from the Mavericks invading the Garden, or former player invading the Garden. Also, Tim Hardaway Jr., also Courtney Lee. Remember last game, Courtney Lee, he started at shooting guard. And I don't know if it was if something had to do with Seth Curry, or they just wanted, they figured Courtney Lee knew about the New York Knicks. I don't know. But I expect Seth Curry to start at shooting guard tomorrow night. Again, the projected starters for the Dallas Mavericks: Luka Doncic at point guard, Seth Curry at shooting guard, Dorian Finney-Smith at small forward, Kristaps Porzingis at power forward, and Maxi Kleber at center. Now let's take a look at some of our key matchups. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not going to look at key matchups yet. We are going to look at the team comparison and break down some numbers between the two teams. The Knicks are 2-9 on the season. They currently have a 2-game losing streak. Their last win came against the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas. I'm pretty sure the Mavericks aren't happy about that. Pretty sure KP is not happy about that. Or Luka Doncic. Currently, the Knicks average 99.5 points per game. Opponents average 110.3 points per game against the Knicks. The Knicks shoot at 41.6% from the field. That's worse than the league. Worse than the league. They shoot 35.5% from three. They grab 45.9 rebounds per game. They finally have broke the 20 mark in assists after getting 27 assists last night versus Chicago. The Knicks now average 20.3 assists per game. They average 16.6 turnovers per game. The Knicks' offensive rating is 99.3. That's 30th in the league. That's last in the league, ladies and gentlemen. Their defensive rating is 110.2. That's 22nd in the league. The Dallas Mavericks, they average 115.3 points per game. Opponents score 112.3 points per game against them. They average 45.4% from the field, 34.8% from three, and they grab 47.8 rebounds per game. They average 24 assists per game and 14.2 turnovers per game. Now let's take a look at some of the numbers. I'm sorry, I'm all mixed up. Let's take a look at the key matchups. And obviously, one of your key matchups is going to be Kristaps Porzingis. Tomorrow night, Kristaps Porzingis will probably be matched up with Marcus Morris. All right, we saw Marcus Morris play against Kristaps Porzingis in the first game. He defended him. Kristaps Porzingis had 28, 29 points, whatever it was, but Marcus Morris also had 29 points. But let's look at the matchup. Kristaps Porzingis, 7'3", 240 pounds, forward center. He averaged 18.3 points per game, 7.9 rebounds per game, 1.7 assists per game, and 2.4 blocks per game. He's shooting 40.1% from the field and 37.5% from three. Now let's look at Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris is 6'8", 218 pounds. He's the leading scorer for the Knicks so far this season. He's averaging 18.5 points per game. He averages 6 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and 1.1 steals per game. He's shooting the ball at 41% from the field and 42.2% from three. So let's take a minute and let's talk about not just this matchup, but let's talk about Kristaps Porzingis. All right, because obviously KP is making his first return to Madison Square Garden since being traded by the Knicks. Now, Kristaps Porzingis didn't have a good game the previous game. I'm not talking about the game against the Knicks. I'm talking about his previous game. He's coming off of a game where he scored 4 points versus the Boston Celtics. All right. Clearly, obviously, the Dallas Mavericks lost that game. Now he's coming into the Garden after playing a bad game, and he's going to have to deal with a hostile crowd at Madison Square Garden. How do you think that's going to impact KP? Is it going to be something that he relishes? Something, where he really wants to be in this type of environment to show and prove to the world that, he's an elevating star? Or will it scare him? I don't know. And yes, you're right, Bombo. He always struggles against Boston. Right? Boston plays him physical, and they know how to. He always struggles against Boston. Obviously, the Knicks don't play that same type of a defense, right? Our defense is not as physical. We can be, but it's not as physical. Our defense is fleeting. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there. Our offense is never there. But our defense is fleeting. And we're going to have to see. I don't know. This is going to be, and I'm not trying to make this show about Kristaps Porzingis, but I want to see how he reacts in this environment. Just anxious to see how he reacts in this environment. Right? Because it's definitely going to be a hostile environment for KP. Expect to hear massive boos. Massive boos. And the Knicks, they need to feed off of that energy, man. You got to feed off that energy. You know what I'm saying? The Garden is going to bring energy. The fans are going to bring energy. The Knicks have to feed off of that energy. Use it to energize them. Let's see if we can springboard from here. We hoped that we were going to springboard after the first Dallas game. We did not. We plummeted. We have another chance, but also Dallas has another chance to get a win over the Knicks, and you better know that they want it. Because the first one in Dallas really kind of went away silently for the Knicks. Because the next game, they got clobbered by Cleveland. You had Scott Perry and Steve Mills step out and say what they had to say. Then the Knicks got blown away by Kobe White and the Chicago Bulls last night. So that Dallas Mavericks game feels like weeks ago. And it was really just a couple of days ago. How much will KP and the Dallas Mavericks love to come into the Garden, blow the Knicks away, and watch the walls of the Garden crumble? I don't want to think about it, but, I don't want to think about it, but they would love it. They would love it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to our game preview, and let's get back to this preview, and let's look at Luka Doncic, and Frank Ntilikina, all right, as the next matchup. Because look, that was definitely a good matchup. Now, Luka Doncic had a triple-double. A triple-double. He almost had a quadruple-double because he also had 8 turnovers. But Frank Ntilikina played him well. Let's not act like he didn't. Frank Ntilikina played him very well. That's our next key matchup. Now, Luka is definitely a smart guy. He's a smart cookie, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to figure out what Frank was doing to him, how Frank gave him any trouble, offensively. Because Frank gave him some trouble. Let's not act like he didn't. Frank is a smart defender. He gets it. He understands. It's like Floyd Mayweather when Floyd Mayweather was fighting. He would study his opponents. He'd study his opponents and then commence to pick them apart. Maybe Frank Ntilikina isn't on that level yet as a defender, but he's working towards it. He's working towards it. You know, he still has his games where he doesn't play well. I'll admit that. I'll admit that. But the last game, Luka, he had 38 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists. Frank still played him well, though. Not going to act like he didn't. He played him well. Let's take a look at this matchup. Luka Doncic. He's averaging 28.3 points per game, 10.3 rebounds per game, 9.1 assists per game, 1.1 steals per game. He shoots the ball at 48.5% from the field, ladies and gentlemen. All right, he shoots 31.8% from three. Frank Ntilikina, while he's played better since he's been a starter, he's played better. Still only averaging 5.1 points per game, 2.5 assists per rebounds per game, 2.9 assists per game, and 1.5 steals per game. He shoots the ball 37% from the field. So far, he's shooting 36.4% from three, which is skewed by that Dallas game, right? Because that Dallas game, he shot the ball at, 80% from the three-point line. We'll see if Frank Ntilikina can copy or repeat what he did versus Dallas in that first game. Frank Ntilikina didn't play that well last night. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Frank Ntilikina had 14 points in that Dallas game. He played tremendous defense all over the floor. But we need a little bit more from him. And we know it's still going to be up and down for Frank because some of the things that we want and expect from him offensively just doesn't come natural to him at this point in his career. We're gonna see. We will see how Frank responds. But he's gonna be covering Luka Doncic once again, and Luka Doncic is gonna be coming to show and prove. I'm sure he heard the chatter that Frank did a good job. Most people probably pay attention to Knicks Twitter, to Knicks social media. So he might be coming to prove a point. It's not like he didn't prove a point in the last game. He had 38 points. He had a triple-double. But he'll be looking for his Garden Day early in his career. And he might get his Garden Day with the way we've been playing and what we've been doing because our confidence is low, very low right now. I'm not sure if the team believes that they can win games. Our confidence is low. He might be looking to come in and have a Garden Day. We can't let that happen, though. We got to stand up. We got to protect home court, man. Let's look at some keys to the game. First and foremost, the first key to the game, ladies and gentlemen. The first key to the game. We got to show pride. And I said this coming into the Chicago game, that we've got to show some pride. Right now, we need to show some pride even more than in the Chicago game. Because we're going to be playing Kristaps Porzingis and the Dallas Mavericks at home. The Garden is looking for any kind of reason to celebrate. Fans need any kind of reason to celebrate and feel good about this team. Because right now we don't. We feel terrible about everything that's going on surrounding this team. So we got to show some pride. Got to show some pride at the Garden on Thursday night. We got to take advantage of the energy in the Garden. There's going to be energy resonating throughout the Garden. The fans are going to bring that energy. There's going to be people like Who's Mark walking in with KP jerseys. At least that's what he said. So we got to bring that energy. We got to feed off the Garden, feed off the fans. Let that energy translate to the basketball game. Bench production. Last night, the bench was outscored by 30 points. Outscored by 30. That's not going to get it, ladies and gentlemen. But the last time we played Dallas, let's take a look at the last time we played Dallas. Because our bench did pretty well the last time we played Dallas. Okay? It wasn't bad at all. All right, we're going to take a look at this. Because our bench production is just so important. And obviously, it depends on who you're bringing off the bench as well. Right? You know, it's going to depend on who you're bringing off the bench with our bench production. But let's take a look at our bench production the last game versus the Dallas Mavericks. Our bench production was pretty good. It was decent. It was decent enough to win the game, obviously. Against the Mavericks, we scored 27 points off the bench. The Mavericks scored 30. We had 17 rebounds. The Mavericks had 16. This is bench production I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we only had 3 assists off the bench. Dallas had 7. We had 2 steals. Dallas had 3. We only had 3 turnovers. Dallas had 4. Our bench shot 37.5% from the field. Their bench shot 31.4% from the field. Our bench shot 66.7% from 3. Their bench shot 28% from 3. Our bench even outscored them from the free throw line, or outshot them from the free throw line. We shot 71.4%. They shot 66.7%. Our bench is going to be critical. And like I said last night, our bench was terrible last night. Terrible last night. Last night, our bench was outscored by 30 points to the Chicago Bulls. We lost in just about every facet of the game. The bench lost in just about every facet of the game. So we need our bench to show up and show out. All right, our bench has definitely got to show up and show out tomorrow night at the Garden versus the Dallas Mavericks. All right, now let's look at the next key to the game. Because I think this was a big key last game. We got to make it the Luka show. And listen, it was the Luka show last game. He had a triple-double, 38 points, 14 rebounds, 10 assists. But then he took some wild shots at the end. And other people weren't really in rhythm. We got to make it the Luka show again. I don't want him to have a career night. But let's make him an isolation type player where everything is flowing through him. Everything is, it's already that way. It's already that way. But I want him to be an isolation guy. You know, playing that ISO ball, hero ball type of game. If we can do that, and then we can stop the other ancillary players, role players from getting theirs, we'll have a chance. Much harder said than done. Much easier said than done. Much easier said than done, but we accomplished it last game. Yes, KP did get off. I'm not saying KP didn't get off. He scored. He got off. Right? And he had his 28 points, 29 points, or whatever he had. But for the most part, it was the Luka show. We got to guard the three-point line. Dallas is 4th in the league in three-point attempts. They shoot 39.9 three-pointers per game. We can't let them get loose. We can't let them get off. Now, they only shoot it at 35.5% or something like that. 35.5, 35.4, something like that. We got to guard that three-point line, though. I would not prefer that we play zone. I know Fizdale did a little bit of zone last game, but it leads to open three-point shots. Kristaps Porzingis can knock it down. Seth Curry can knock it down. We don't want to play zone against these guys. I think it'd be a mistake. If we play zone against these guys, we may be looking at another Kobe White. Somebody getting off against us from that three-point line. I don't think it's going to be a good idea to play zone. Continue to play man. Just D them up. Just D up man. Show some pride in your defense. Show some pride and protect the home court. Show some pride in everything that's going on around the Knicks. Show some pride. Step up. play ball. Be a man out there. Then the last key to the game is we got to find a way to change this. We're 25th in the league in pace. Our ball movement stinks. I know we had 27 assists last game. But when it came into the fourth quarter, we were getting blown out in the fourth quarter. The ball was sticking. We were playing hero ball. We're last in the league in field goal percentage. We're last in the league in free throw percentage. When the last time we played the Mavericks, I know we won the game. But ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. Let's be truthful about it. We shot the ball only 41.6% versus the Mavericks in the last game. And I don't care what anybody says, that's not going to get it done on a consistent basis. The Mavericks shoot 45% from the field. So, yeah. The last game, we held them to 41.1%. What's the chances that we're going to do it again? What are the chances that we're going to hold them to shooting 41.1% from the field again? Not good. We've got to find a way to make shots. And what pisses me off the most is we miss a lot of bunnies, man, right there in the paint. Julius Randle and Bobby Portis, they miss a lot of bunnies in the paint. They'll get to the basket and miss layups, man. It gets me upset every time. And excuse my phone going off in the background. Business calls coming in. I apologize about that. I should have put my phone on silent, but I forgot before I got on. But anyway, we cannot expect the Dallas Mavericks to shoot 41.1% from the field. We can't expect it. All right? But we can expect the Knicks to shoot 41.6% from the field. We got to hope that we get a hot night. Somebody steps up and really starts to knock it down, and the team somehow finds some rhythm, because we've got to shoot better than 41.6% from the field if we expect to start winning some basketball games. And we've got to do it in Dallas as well. Got to do it in Dallas as well, ladies and gentlemen. So those are my keys to the game. Again, real quick, we got to show some pride. Show pride in the garden. Show some pride at home. Show some pride in yourself. We got to take advantage of the energy that's going to be in the garden. Feed off the energy of the fans. It's gonna be a lot of energy tomorrow night. It's a nationally televised game on TNT. Take advantage of that energy. Feed off that energy. We need bench production. Let's make it the Luka show. We got to make it the Luka show. Right? Make him isolate his teammates. He might be hot. Maybe he has a big night. But let's see if we can make him isolate his teammates, and then they struggle. When we get down the stretch, they're struggling. Tim Hardaway is going to be bricking anyway, most likely. Let's hope that Tim Hardaway doesn't have a hot night, though. I can see that happening. We got to guard the three-point line. These guys, they shoot 43-point shots per game. Fourth in the league. Can't let them get off. We got to find a way to play some better offense. We're last in the league in offensive efficiency. Last in the league in field goal percentage. Last in the league in free throw percentage. 25th in the league in pace. And we need more ball movement. Got to find a way to get these things done, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to have a chance to win this game. So I got some guys in the chat. See what they're talking about, man. Let me see. Who do I got in the chat now? I got Nick in the chat. And somebody else jumped in, but they must have jumped back out. Maybe they had some work to do. All right. Nick, I'm going to come to you, man. Tell me, Nick, what do you think about this game, man? Do we have a chance in winning? I know we beat them the last time, and we beat them again.
The only way we're beating Dallas is if Ntilikina has a great game.
Say that again?
The only way we win is if Ntilikina has a great game. He has to bring it on offense, man. At least shoot 40%. Give me 10 to 15 points. Um, I also been looking at the lineups and stuff like that. We need Elfrid Payton back to give
Mm-hmm.
you like a backup point guard. Either that or we just go heavy RJ, you know. I
Yeah,
think one of the main weaknesses with the team is just the point guard play, man. We need consistent point guard play, start to finish.
right. And Elfrid Payton, I don't know. I mean, I just haven't heard much about Elfrid Payton and whether or
Mhm.
not when he's going to get back in the fold. Have you?
No, Fizdale talked about it before last game. He said that he's got a groin. If you think about it, Frank had the groin last year and just sat out the rest of the season. So I mean, it's a groin. Those are rough.
Yeah. Now, but I thought he had a hamstring though.
Hamstring. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
Elfrid Payton
hamstring. I
has a
thought it was a
hamstring.
groin for some point, but then they said it's a hamstring. You're right. But those are tough to recover from sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely going to be one of those high energy games at the Garden, right? Because the fans are
Hmm.
going to be into it. They're going to be booing
Hmm.
KP. Um, but somebody has to show some pride out there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
not just R.J. Barrett, one of these vets. I mean, Taj Gibson shows some pride, but I guess collectively as a team, we've got to show some pride. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to show some pride in protecting the Garden. And just protecting the sanctity of the team.
Yeah. Because
You
you know
know,
what's funny? Like no one rebels against Fizdale. I think guys actually like him. You don't hear any mutiny like how you heard with D'Antoni and other guys. But at the same time, it's like if you like this guy, play hard for him. Bobby Portis, the first Chicago game, he played really well and he gave his all. He wasn't missing a shot. You got to bring that every game. Same thing with Frank against Dallas. He brought it that night, but then why can't you do that every single game? I don't know. You got
yeah.
to take your shots, man. I don't like the fact that Frank didn't take his shots last night. There are a lot of times he was open and he didn't take it.
Mm, yeah. Let me see what Mark is thinking. Let me get the Mark. Mark,
What's going on, bro?
uh,
You, you hear
tell
me?
me, man. Yeah, I can hear you. Talk to me about the game, man. What we
All
gonna
right,
do?
man. Listen, if Frank could duplicate what he did Friday, that would be nice. I think we need to take more quick threes, not not wait for the defender to come at you when the ball gets you. Take quick threes and rebounding too, because against this team, against Dallas, you should be able to rebound them because they're really thin. They don't really have centers. They don't have centers. And I think play with a little more and play with a little more pace, man. I think when we play with pace, we look good, man. Like just play with pace, man. And our pick and roll defense, oh, that got to tighten up better. I have to tighten up better. I have to tighten up better. So those things have to go our way. And like I said, the way Friday was when we took those shots, we have to duplicate what we did Friday. Period. Because every shot was going in. Every time we shot went in. Shots that I thought that normally don't go in went in. So you have to hit a lot of timing shots depending on how the game goes. But rebounding, take quick threes, and I hope Frank could duplicate what he did on Luka Doncic, how he made him into a thinker instead of a doer.
Okay.
Because if you got him going, he gonna try to light you up because he cocky.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. He might be looking to have. He knows this is a big Garden game. It's on TNT. He might be looking to have one of those career games against us at the Garden, man.
He's a Knicks fan.
Yeah. He might be looking to have one of those games. Frank's definitely gonna have to step up and play some D. Isaiah, what's your take on it, man? What's up, man? I guess I'll come back to Isaiah since he wasn't ready to really talk to us. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Sometimes Isaiah just doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the KP is invading the Garden, and it's time for the Knicks to protect home court. If there was any time, this is the time to do it. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, so Sim, I missed the show last night. I was at work. But what do you think is the problem with Dennis Smith, man?
Oh man, I don't know, man. He's clearly not the Dennis Smith that we seen last year, right? The guy that we thought had a lot of potential to, the guy that we thought had so much potential to take another step and step to the next level. We haven't seen it at all from him this year. He's not even looking to attack as much. I don't know if he's confused or physically he just can't do it, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
And it's frightening. It's frightening the step that he's taken down. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, I don't know. What do you think?
So there was talk on Nick's Wall. I don't know if you ever listened to the podcast, but Nick's Wall brought up a point that he's been working with Keith Smart, right? And they were saying how maybe Keith Smart broke his shot. But at the same time, like I'm watching the game right now. I didn't get to watch it. So I'm looking at some of the plays. They're adding wrinkles that I didn't see at the beginning of the season. There's some offensive things that are looking better, especially if Frank is in the game. Even Dennis Smith being in the game, it looks better. But then it's just like the end result, like Randall tripping over himself. Dennis Smith, when it comes to him, man, it's just like there's something missing. I don't know if the explosion isn't there side to side. He's not getting off the floor as well because, like, he could run. He could launch off both feet, 1 foot. It doesn't matter. And he could get off the floor, but it's something missing in his game. And maybe it's like since the offense is getting more complex now, I'm seeing like he's not reading the play and reacting to it.
Well, and I don't know if they've put anything in since he's been out. That could very well have happened, right? That they put some things in since
I think
he's
they
been
did
out.
because they're not running plays that they ran at the beginning of the season. It's a lot more slips on the screen, double rolls to the basket off the weave. And I saw him run it once, but then they ran the same play again, and he missed the play. And it's like, you got to catch on to these things every single time. It is the same. You're right, Mark. It is the same problem that he had in Dallas. Same exact problem.
Yeah, I mean, and
He's
as far as offensive stuff, recognizing things offensively, yeah, he has some problems, but I'm just looking at him physically. Right?
Yeah.
Physically last year, even without knowing what to do offensively or maybe not catching on to certain things offensively, he still had the physical tools to still get 14, 15 points a game just because of his athleticism.
Yeah.
There's something there that's not right with him still.
And
physically.
weird,
it has to be. Unless his confidence is just so shot.
Confidence is shot, bro.
Unless it's just so shot that he can't do it. I don't know. I mean, his confidence is definitely low. right? You can see that when he's on the court. You know what I mean? His confidence is very, very low. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. It's definitely a shock to me because I thought he was gonna maybe take a step forward this year, and it doesn't look like it's not. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen. It doesn't look like it's gonna take a step forward.
He was important.
Yeah,
he
really
was
important.
Very important.
He was important
Really
to what we could have done.
Yeah. And I see people in the chat say stop making excuses for Dennis Smith Jr. and things. I'm not making excuses, man. I mean, you gotta look at it. You really gotta look at it, man. I don't think we're making excuses for him. You know, yeah, I agree. He doesn't have confidence. Physically, though, there's something. I don't know, maybe it's his back issues.
Then he
right?
has a lower back, man.
You know, but
explosion.
Right, he doesn't have the explosion to the basket, or maybe he's just overthinking.
And that too, because like I said, when you're reading plays, when Fizz are draw, I want to thank Nick G for saying that because when people keep saying Fizz ain't running plays, he's running plays out there. But if the players do not do it, it's gonna look like the plays not being run. I'm telling you, when you don't have players with IQ that can read the game, it's gonna make the coach look bad, bro. Fizz is out there running things. You just got to be able to execute it, bro. Very simple. And he had that problem in Dallas. Dallas was like, yeah, take him. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And he's just not that type of player to read high basketball IQ. That was his problem in college. And that's his problem coming in the first 2 years of the league. He just want to do pick and roll and do what he do best. Don't work like that, bro. Don't work like that. You got to get everybody to play the game. And he's the point guard. The game we need a point guard to be the head of the snake to get these guys in position. If he can't read it, players don't develop, and then we go into a one-on-one. And who's really a one-on-one guy that can get us a bucket every time? Nobody. So the offense is going to look the way he does. So when people say Fizz is not running plays, you have to watch it, and you have to understand that if the players are not hitting the guy when they're supposed to hit him, the play is broken. Now,
I get that. I get that. I'm still not absolving Fizz from a whole lot of stuff, man. Listen. I understand that. You know, you got to have players, right? But you know, this is the same. You know, we're hearing the same things. I mean, I'm not on both sides of the fence. I don't like what Scott Perry and Steve Mills did, you know, with Fizdale. I don't like that at all. But I'm also not absolving Fizz, right? Because
I'm not absolving at all.
Because we have better. Because this is the same thing we heard, you know, last year, that we don't have players that can execute this and execute that, and then we supposedly have players this year, and now we have players again that can't execute. So, you know, he's got to take some role in forcing them and making them execute what he wants as well. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not executing and they're not doing what he wants, then he's got to put in players that will do what he wants, even if it means it's a lesser player. You know, sometimes you have to do that just to, you know, prove your point that, you know, I have a certain way that I want you to play, certain things that I want you to execute, and this is what, you know, this is what we got to do.
Yeah,
you know, so I mean, you know, it's
Tim, I can understand this team was together for 2 years, 10 games, bro.
Yeah, it's 10 games.
It's 10 games, bro. It's because when I'm hearing people, we had games where we looked function. We just lost to either Kyrie or the better players on the better team. That's what it was. We had good games where we got Randolph, and we had good games where we could have won that game. So it's not like we was in net for 10 games.
Okay, good. You're right. So but be honest with me right now.
I'll be honest.
Right? Be honest with me right now. You know, you're saying it's just 10 games or 11 games, right? But let's look forward. Right? We'll look at our next 20 games. And we can look at the next 10 if you want to. We can look at the next 10, right? Because this is what we say now. We say it's just 10 games, right? But go look at the next 20 games. or even the next 10 games, and tell me how many wins do you see us getting? Because once you get to 20 games, we're almost a quarter. I mean, right now, we're almost a quarter of the way through the season.
Spooky right now.
So,
Right?
remember when we did the season preview and we were talking about how many wins we'll have and we were breaking down the schedule? I remember saying to you guys, like, I didn't see 10 wins by December. I thought that we'll struggle big time. Probably not as bad as we are right now. But at the same time, like, it's a tough schedule at the beginning. We play a lot of playoff teams.
Yeah.
And I always like to believe that sometimes you just flat out need bad teams to play against to actually to find your footing.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, I mean, it's going to take them a lot to get their chemistry down pat. But the one thing, like, I see the chemistry getting better. We're finding our lineup. And I actually want Fizz to go back to playing 8 guys only, because the tighter rotation was the best rotation. The next thing is Randall has to be a better player. Like, how could this guy miss? I'm looking at an air ball in the second quarter. He done 2 air balls now in
I'm
2
taking
quarters.
3s.
And then I don't mind the 3 mark, but at the same time, he's got to at least take ownership of his bad play when he's not playing good on defense and letting guys just lay to the basket.
Underlay. That's what he does.
Well, yeah. So listen to this. Check this out. Here we go. I'm gonna read to you our next few games.
Okay.
You got Dallas on Thursday, right? And then after Dallas, we play Charlotte. Now,
Charlotte's a loss.
People, right? Okay. See, people. I was about to say people are gonna look and say, "Oh, we should beat that Charlotte," but Charlotte's what, 4-6, right? Sounds like 4-6. Okay. We just lost to the Cavaliers by 30, right? We just got blown out by the Cavaliers, so you can't sit and say, "Oh yeah, that's gonna be a win."
They almost beat Philly last night,
right? And then now listen to the next group of games coming up, right? So after we play the Cavaliers, then it's the 76ers, San Antonio, Brooklyn, Toronto, the 76ers again, the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Denver Nuggets, the Indiana Pacers, the Portland Trail Blazers. Maybe we can get a win against the Golden State Warriors. Then you got the Sacramento Kings. We already got blown out by them. Then you got the Denver Nuggets again. We got the Hawks, who are better than us. Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks.
Sam, hold on.
Come on, man.
Sacramento, what's his name? De'Aaron Fox is hurt.
Okay.
We could win that game. We could beat the Pacers, too. The Pacers are in force.
I don't know, man.
We could beat the Pacers because of the injuries. Yes, because of injury, we could beat the Pacers.
Nick, they still execute at a high. They don't turn the ball over. They execute almost on every play. And no, bro, no. I'll get there.
All I'm saying is this. As much as we want to sit here and say it's only been 10 or 11 games, I just read off. Okay, this is what we're going to do as a group. I'm going to read off as a group. And Peter from Belize, what's going on with you, my man? Thank you for being here with us. I appreciate you. Right? I got you.
Not too good. It's hard repping this thing, but
I feel you.
Staying in there, man.
So we're all live. All right. So let's try to make sure we give each other, not talk over each other and everything. But I'm going to read off this schedule and you tell me if it's a win or a loss. All right. Mark, I hear you laughing. Okay. All right.
Is this
Dallas.
for me or for one of the other guys?
This is for everybody.
Okay.
All right. Dallas.
Win.
Okay.
That's a loss.
That's a loss, bro.
All right.
We're gonna lose everything else except that game.
All right. Charlotte.
Charlotte's a loss.
Charlotte's a loss. Cleveland.
That could be a win. That could be a win.
A win.
That's a win.
Okay. All right. We'll take a win there. Philadelphia.
Loss.
San Antonio.
Shoot.
That could be a win because we always beat San Antonio. Might not win the series, but we always end up beating them. I'll give that a win.
Okay. Brooklyn.
One more thing about San Antonio too, because they having a conundrum with some of the between playing some of the young players and also they're clashing with DeRozan playing in the lineup.
Okay. All right.
And DeRozan
Brooklyn
also is like looking for a contract, and he's at odds with San Antonio right now. So that could be a win. Could be.
Okay.
If Mitch is back, could be a win.
All right. Brooklyn.
A win because
I'm with you, Mark.
We should have won that first one.
All right. We might be able to beat Brooklyn. I think we might be able to get Brooklyn, especially because it's a big game. Toronto.
Nah, they're gonna win. Their defense is too stout.
Toronto, yeah. But see, okay, let me ask you this. If Mitch is healthy, does that change any of those games to a win? Because Mitch could hold down Siakam to some degree.
I don't know. I don't see him messing with Toronto, man. I don't see him messing with Toronto. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we got Philadelphia again.
Lost.
Man. Come on.
Right. Then we got Boston.
We kind of played them fairly until they.
Right, but it's different now. They're playing a lot better now. They're even playing better now.
Yeah, that's an L. That's an L.
Right. And then you got Milwaukee.
L.
Double L.
Denver.
L. That could be a win.
That's a triple L, man.
Man, we ain't beating Denver, man.
Man,
I don't think we're messing with Denver. And then we got Indiana.
The thing about Indiana is they got Sabonis hurt.
They bigs don't kill us.
What's dude's name ain't back yet? Oladipo ain't back yet. Even though Brogdon is playing well. But see, the thing is, Brogdon is playing well, but everyone else is not playing as well. If Frank is D'ing up against Brogdon, that shuts down a lot of the play that they could do. And I'm saying by that time, Mitch should be healthy. Then you talk about Mitch versus Miles Turner, Frank versus Brogdon, and then maybe Randall, if he plays well, could actually be the deciding factor.
I ain't hoping for Randall to do anything, bro. That's an L.
I have a
well-coached team, bro.
I have a question about this. Are we thinking about Frank defensively from last year or this year? Because when I'm watching games, I'm seeing guys blowing past him to get to the hole. Are we giving him last year's credit, or is he really that good defensively this year? I don't know.
Well, a lot of his defense sometimes predicate on the big sometimes. So what he would do, he will funnel the guard to the big. That's why when you watch guys go past Randall in a pick and roll situation, is because Randall's supposed to defend that. But
Thank you.
In certain sequence, Frank is marvelous on defense, bro. When he gets back on people, you have to watch him. Might get blown by, but most of the time blown by is to funnel the guard to the big man. It's not necessary. It's not necessary that he's making a passing. No, not like that. No.
And the thing is, like, Randall isn't picking up the read on the pick and roll. He's supposed to show hard, but he doesn't. He's just a turnstile, man.
Yeah, and
like
now
Randall is the weakest spot on the defense as of right now.
Yeah. See, I believe, like, Mark, you're right. Frank's job is to funnel the guard to the big man. I don't think we should be doing that if Mitch isn't there.
Yeah, I know.
Right? We shouldn't be funneling him to Randall. We shouldn't. Yeah, we shouldn't be funneling him to Randall. We shouldn't be funneling him to Bobby Portis. You should only be doing that strategy if Mitch is there, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right.
And Isaiah, I took you out, man, because you're not gonna sit there and advertise White Castle on the show. You know what I'm saying? I do not have. You're not gonna do that.
Businessman.
Yeah, you can't sit there and give White Castle some free advertisement on the show.
We don't have those out here, man. We don't have those out there.
Isn't that what you was eating?
What's going on though?
Isn't that what you were eating?
Yeah.
But I'm saying you can't sit there.
We got the frozen ones. We don't got the real ones.
Well, you still. It don't matter. You still advertising them.
If you ain't eating Popeyes, you can't show that on the show. We want to see a fight, man.
I ain't trying to cook for no chicken.
Hey, Sin.
Yeah.
You gotta look. You gotta remember too. Someone pointed it out. December 1st is gonna be a big day for the Knicks.
December 1st.
That marks the 10 game thing that they were talking about.
The second 10.
But
that's
did they?
That's the 10 game mark that they gave.
Right. But are they actually? I feel like that was just an excuse by Steve Mills, just saying we're going to come out at 10 games. I don't think.
Can we just fire David Fizdale and get over with it?
No, you got to fire Mills.
You can't do that, man.
Wait. So can I say this one thing, Sam? Can I say this one thing? Listen, we got to get this out of our head. Mills is not going to get fired. He's not going to get fired. I don't know why people keep thinking that. He's not going to get fired. That's James Dolan's. That's one of James Dolan's best friends. He's not going to fire him.
Well,
so we got to get that out of our mind. David Fizdale and Scott Perry will be there. Will not be there before Steve Mills get fired. I promise you that. So we got to get that out of our head. I'm sorry, Mark. Sorry, Knicks fans. He's going to stay.
Yeah.
It's not going to change.
I have no problem with Steve Mills.
Oh my God.
I have no problem with Steve Mills.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's about what
really sad.
He makes a lot of questionable decisions, but I mean, listen. So let's say like this, right? The year we won 54 games, Steve Mills was part of that. So it's not like the Knicks can't be good. It's just they got to get the right people in there. They can be good. They just have to get the right people, the right personnel.
1 year out of 9 years, bro. Kudos.
Hey, I'm trying to be like Sim. You got to be positive somewhere.
Oh, yeah, one good year. You don't one good year.
Go ahead, Nick. Hey, Mark, you're real low. You're real low compared to everybody. Go ahead, Nick.
I'm seeing here the new news is that the Knicks plan to pursue Sam Presti.
And that's by who? Who's saying that?
Real GM.
Real GM? Sam gonna pursue Sam Presti? I don't know.
Yeah.
Why not Mark Jackson?
No.
Well, Sam Presti is a front office guy, so yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, you guys go ahead and talk. Let me get to a phone call. All right, you guys go ahead and have a conversation.
I like it.
Let me get to a phone call here. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yo, Black is fine. Shout out to the chat. What's good, son?
I'm chilling, man. What's good with you?
Ain't nothing, man. So we talking about this Dallas game.
We talk about this Dallas game. We were looking at some games in the future. Mark said, it's just 10 games, just 10, 11 games. But when you start to look at the games we got coming up in the future, it becomes way more than just 10 or 11 games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the schedule coming up, the next few games that we're playing are not games that you can sit there and say, yeah, we're definitely going to get a win. And then, you come to some games where you're like, whoa, it's going to be tough to get a win. Because we're not guaranteed a win against Dallas. We're not guaranteed a win against the Charlotte Hornets. We're not guaranteed a win against the Cavaliers again. We're not guaranteed a win, obviously not guaranteed a win against the 76ers. The San Antonio Spurs, the Nets. I think we can beat the Nets. The Toronto Raptors, the Sixers again, the Boston Celtics, the Bucks, the Nuggets, the Pacers, the Blazers, maybe the Warriors. Right? Maybe the Warriors. We're not guaranteed a win against the Kings, the Nuggets, the Hawks, the Heat. I mean, all of these teams I can see busting us,
broken, man.
Really busting us.
I ain't even going front.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So when people say, well, it's only been 10, 11 games, well, that's gonna start to go into a quarter of the season pretty soon. 10 more games, a quarter of the season is done. You know what I mean? And you look at our next 10 games. Let me see. Dallas is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Brooklyn is 6. Toronto 7. The Sixers are 8. Boston is 9. And Milwaukee is 10. It's possible that we can win one of these games, 2 of these games, that we can go 2-8 again. It could really spiral out of control over this next month, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking about all last night. Like, I'm really starting to feel like, you know what? Give RJ the keys. Give him the keys and let him go, and maybe you know, and speed up his growth. Because I mean, he seems to be the one bright spot of the season.
Mm-hmm.
We really need a point guard who penetrates. Like, granted, Frank has had a nice couple of games, but even in those games, he's not a penetrating point guard. I really hope and pray Dennis Smith can just turn the season around. Like I said last night, if he just plays with his speed and athleticism, and you know, just bring that jumper along slowly, I guess. But I mean, he has something that we can use to our benefit. Mark was saying last night how slow we are, and it's true. Right. Our pace is horrible.
Yeah.
Our pace is horrible. I mean, between Dennis Smith, Mitchell, RJ, I really feel like it's just we might as well just go back to developing and letting the young guys try to develop into something. And it sucks that it's only 10 games in, and I'm feeling this way. But I mean, that's how I'm feeling.
But it's like you can see the writing on the wall, man. I mean, you can see it. You can look and you can see that just things are. Julius Randle was nothing what we expect. Everything that was bad, Julius Randle did a lot of good last year, but everything that was not good or anything bad you heard about Julius Randle was like he brought all of that to the Knicks, right? And we're not seeing. And maybe it's because Alvin Gentry just knew how to use Julius Randle. I don't know. But we're not seeing we're not seeing it. You know, we're seeing everything that is
I'll tell you what it is,
good,
man.
Bro.
It's like that caller said last night. Even on that Pelicans team, there was Anthony Davis there.
Right. So
Julius was allowed to just be himself. He wasn't trying to do anything extra. You know what I mean?
Right.
And maybe that's for Fizdale to say, listen, it's RJ's team. Regardless of what the point outcome becomes, it's RJ's team. Randle, just play your game. I think that's the main problem with Randle. He's got that cape on. He want to be a superhero. And that's not him. We need somebody else to be like, this is the leader. You play your role.
Nah, I feel you. Boy. So what do you think of tomorrow night, man? What's gonna happen?
Man, honestly, I'm on the Steve Mills, Scott Perry boat saying just be competitive. Be competitive for 4 quarters. That's all I'm looking for like the remainder of the season.
Yeah.
You know, show some heart. Don't. I mean, and it's point guards that's killing us every time. It's been like this for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it sure has, man.
Not only that, and we haven't had one to, combat it, to equal it out, balance it out.
Yeah. Oh, boy. It's tough, man. It's tough looking at it and thinking about it, man, because while I don't think any of us expected us to really be in the playoffs, I think we expected the Knicks were going to be better than what we've seen, even if it wasn't resulting in wins right now, if all of their games, listen, you can expect a blowout or two, right? But, just things that we're seeing, the lack of energy, the discombobulation on offense, guys slamming into each other sometimes. I mean, all I could do last night was giggle at some stuff. Is just sit there and just giggle.
I heard you saying that yesterday, and lo and behold, I was doing the same thing, man. I was doing the same exact thing. And you know what the funniest thing to me was? The same thing all season, free throws and turnovers.
Yep.
At the very least, if you clean that up, we'd be a competitive team every night.
Right. And it just baffles me how we could be such a bad free throw shooting team. It's just crazy. These guys are professional players. All they have to do every day, all day, is shoot a basketball. I mean, that's not all they have to do, but that's mostly what they have to do.
Do you think Fizdale has the heart to bench Randall?
No,
and when
I don't.
I say bench him, I don't mean did not play coach's decision. I mean just take him out the starting unit.
I don't think he does. It would surprise me. I don't think he does. I don't think he has the heart to do it. I really don't. I don't think he does.
One more thing I wanted to mention, and I don't know if you heard it, but I guess when he spoke to Stephen A., he told him it wasn't about the coach, it was about everybody, including himself, including Perry, including the players. And to be honest, that's what I said when I first heard it.
What? Who said that?
Say that again?
Who said that?
Stephen A. said that was Steve Mills' response directly to him. He said he spoke to Steve Mills.
Okay. No, I didn't hear that. He
still went on his rant about it, saying it wasn't fair because he's the one close to Dolan. But at the same time, that's what I took. Because even in the press conference, he said, when he talked about, he kept saying we. You know what I mean? He never once said Fizdale or coach. He put the onus on himself for the players that he got. We thought these players could do this. We thought it was always we. And that's why I respected him. Because it showed, at the very least, they care.
Now, I get that.
I'm not defending it. I think it would have been much better optically if coach was there for it.
Yeah.
It was a three of them.
But sometimes, I'll say this, sometimes we actually means you. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever been someplace, with somebody else and they made you late, right? But when you go talk to somebody else, you say, yeah, we're running a little late. But it's that person that made you late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So sometimes we actually does mean you. You know what I mean? But you don't want to, you don't want to throw that person under the bus in front of that person, so you say we.
I mean, they've been talking collective, all season, all last year. Everything's been a collective. It's always been all three of us sat down and made this decision, or at least discussed.
That's true.
This. I don't think Fizdale was in a position where he pushed for any player on that team that that they brought in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really think the onus is on, if anything, Steve Mills and Perry more than Fizdale.
Then and you're right. Then the optics probably, and this is why they should have.
This is the New York thing.
This is the why that they should have taken a moment and thought about it, and then you could have came out with all three of them, Fizdale,
agreed,
Scott Perry, Steve Mills, and said, okay, here's going on. We want to address you for this, But hey, Tony, I'm gonna run through this, this breakdown one more time, and then I'm getting out of here because I got to get to basketball practice.
No doubt. Shout out to the chat. Congratulations on your 10K, son.
10K, baby. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right. Peace.
What?
And big shout out to you guys. I wouldn't be at 10K if it wasn't for you guys, man. So big shout out to you guys for that. I'm going to take one more phone call, but I'm going to make it real quick. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Sam, what's going on, man? It's Evergreen G.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm pretty frustrated, just like you are, just like everybody else is.
Yeah.
You know how this is going. Listen, so we got to blow the whole team up December 15th, brother. That's all I can say. December 15th, this whole team needs to go. The only people that get a pass to stay, in my opinion, is Perry, Knox, Frank, RJ, Mitch, Iggy, and Traer. Everybody else can go. I don't care what anybody else says. Period. Steve Mills has been here too long. Nothing's been going on. We've had a losing season ever since he's been here. We've had a losing season. Mills needs to go. Perry seems to be the only one that he pretty much dealt with what he had. The cards he had played. You know what I mean? Only so much you can do with KD not wanting to sign with us, not even giving us a look. Obviously, I personally didn't want Kyrie to come over to this team anyway because he's injury prone, and I pretty much see that Nets team imploding on itself. But those players that I just named all show some type of promise. I know a lot of people are going to listen to this and be like, why would you even think about doing it with Frank? Frank, just on defense alone, is enough for me. Knox, just on offense alone, what he said he's going to do beyond the arc with shooting over 40%, I'm willing to keep Knox for that reason. RJ, he's a stud. We already know what we're getting out of him.
Right.
Mitch has the potential to becoming one of the best defensive players in the league, period. Iggy, we don't know yet, and Traer is an offensive monster. Everybody else can go. Period.
I'm almost on board with you, man. I'm almost right there with you. I was thinking about that the other night. Yeah. I was thinking about that, not the other night, last night. I was really thinking about it like, man, it might be time to just get rid of every single one of these vets and just rock with it. I don't care if we win just 2 games, just go with all young kids.
That's right. Look at what Chicago did.
I don't know, man.
Nobody on that Chicago team that today was playing over that has more than 5 years.
Yeah.
And Kobe White dropped, what was it, 23 in the fourth quarter? Like,
right. Yeah.
There's so much frustration that I have, and I wasn't one of those guys jumping on the bandwagon train for Fire Fizdale, but unfortunately, with the cards that he was dealt and what Perry and Mills just did the other day, like, in order to save face for the organization, like, you kind of have to get rid of him now. Especially if we lose to this Dallas game.
Yeah.
If we lose this Dallas game, it's a wrap. Like, the whole team has to go. The media is going to be in a frenzy, as if it's not in a frenzy already. The whole team's got to go. Period. Like, we can make some valuable trades and use the people in the cap space not the cap space we have, but the money that we spent on these players, and we can make some trades and get exactly what it is that we need in trade. On top of that, we already have too many damn players on the team anyway, so we can probably do from some 2-for-1s and kind of even out the roster. You know what I mean? I personally think that we should only have like 14 people on the team, maybe even 13, and having 2 jack of all trades that can play multiple positions, 2 and 3 positions, and the other players just be able to play their position off the bench. But that's just me. But we have too many players, and we can make something happen with making some trades, man. But the question is anybody even going to come and make any trades for us, right? Knowing what we just went through over the past 15, 20 games that we're going to have by the time December 15 comes, is anybody even willing to make a trade for Marcus Morris? Like, of course, everyone's going to want the people that I named, Knox, Frank, RJ, Mitch, Iggy, Traer. Like, of course, they're going to want those guys. But we got to do something, man. We got to do something. And right now, like, I'm all for blowing this team up and making something happen. I don't want anybody to sit here and think that all this stuff is Dolan's fault because all he does is hire people. But at the same time, you can't blame him because he has Mills in the organization for at least the last 10 years, and nothing's happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel you on that, man.
Everybody except for Perry, Mitch, Frank, RJ, Iggy, and Traer and Knox got to go. Everybody. Okay. That's all I got, man. That is all I got.
All right. I appreciate you, bro.
Yep.
All right. Peace. Big shout out to Dono Cannon, man. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Hit me with a $20 super chat, man. Much appreciated. He said, just want to say congrats on the 10K. I was here around 400 subs. Remember when you had the cheap mic? Yep. I had a cheap mic, yep. And I'm proud of you and many, many more to come. Let's get to 20K. Although it's your journey, I feel part of it. Everybody's a part of it, man. It's all of our journey. You know what I mean? It's all of our journey. So I definitely appreciate you, John O'Cannon. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the shout out and the love, man. I appreciate all you guys. All right, definitely appreciate you. Real quick, I'm going to run through this one more time as we break down the game a little bit one more time. And then I'm going to get out of here because I got to get the basketball practice. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be late. I try to preach to the girls to be on time, and then I walk in there late. And then, they're trying to tell me to run laps. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not running no laps. So I got to make sure I get there on time, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start real quick with the projected starters for tomorrow night. The Knicks are at home versus the Dallas Mavericks, 8 p.m. It's on TNT. It's also on ESPN 98.7 and ESPN 103.3 in Dallas. The projected starters for tomorrow night: Frank Ntilikina at point guard, RJ Barrett at shooting guard, Marcus Morris at small forward, Julius Randle at power forward, and Taj Gibson at center. Injury report: Mitchell Robinson is still out with a concussion. Alfred Payton, a right hamstring. Reggie Bullock, a neck. The starters for the Dallas Mavericks, who are 6-4 in the season: Luka Doncic at point guard, Seth Curry at shooting guard, Dorian Finney-Smith at small forward, Kristaps Porzingis at power forward, and Maxi Kleber at center. No injuries to report at this time for the Dallas Mavericks. The Knicks are on a 2-game losing streak. The Mavericks have lost 1 game. The Knicks' last win came against the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas a couple games ago. The Knicks average 99.5 points per game. Their opponents average 110.3 points per game. The Knicks shoot 41.6% from the field, 35.5% from 3, 45.9%. They grab 45.9 rebounds. They average 20.3 assists and 16.6 turnovers. Their offensive rating is 99.3. That's last in the league. And their defensive rating is 110.2. That's 22nd in the league. The Dallas Mavericks, they average 115.3 points per game. They give up 112.3 points per game. They shoot 45.4% from the field, 34.8% from 3. They grab 47.8 rebounds per game. They average 24 assists per game and 14.2 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating is 112.9. That's number 1 in the league. They have the best offensive rating in the league. Their defensive rating is 110.1. That's 21st in the league. A couple of key matchups to look out for. Number 1 is Kristaps Porzingis and Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris faced off with KP in the last game and basically played him even. We'll see if he can do it again tomorrow night. KP is 7'3", 240 pounds. He averages 18.3 points per game, 7.9 rebounds per game, 1.7 assists per game, 2.4 blocks per game. He shoots the ball at 40.1% from the field, 37.5% from 3. He played in Dallas last night, or the other night, whenever it was. He only had 4 points. I'm sorry, he played in Boston. He only had 4 points. He's going to be looking to rebound from that 4 points. Obviously, he's entering a hostile environment in the Garden. He's going to hear a lot of boos, a lot of people coming at his neck. We'll see how he handles that. I'm sure his team is going to try to rally around him. All right, so we'll be looking at a team that's going to come in. They're going to come in with some fire. They already lost to the Knicks. They're going to come in with some fire, I think. Marcus Morris, he's 6'8", 218 pounds. He averages 18.5 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 1.2 assists, and 1.1 steals per game. He shoots 41% from the field and 42.2% from 3. All right, I guess you could probably say he's having a career year, especially if he gets that field goal percentage up. But then again, he's playing for a 2-9 team. The next key matchup to look at is Luka Doncic and Frank Ntilikina. Frank did a decent job on Luka in the last game. Like Mark said, he made Luka a thinker instead of a doer. I like the way Mark said that. Luka had 38 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists in the last game. Frank Ntilikina had 14 points and like 6 assists, and played great defense. And I think he had 2 or 3 blocks as well. Right, Luka averages 28.3 points per game, 10.3 rebounds per game, 9.1 assists, and 1.1 steal. He shoots 48.5% from the field and 31.8% from three. Frank Ntilikina averages 5.1 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. His numbers look better as a starter. But this is overall. All right. His field goal percentage, he shoots 37% from the field, 36.4% from three, which is a little bit skewed because in that Dallas game, it was 80%. But right now, he's shooting about 36.4% from three. We need Frank Ntilikina to show up and show out again versus Dallas. He didn't have a great game last night. He's got to show up and show out tomorrow night in Dallas. The keys to the game: show some pride. That's number one. First and foremost, we got to show some pride. And I know I've said this maybe the last 3 games or whatever it is, but damn, we cannot get blown out at the Garden by Kristaps Porzingis and the Dallas Mavericks. It can't happen. You think that it was big news or whatever, it was a crisis when Steve Mills and Scott Perry came out and did an impromptu press conference? Well, let's see what happens if they get blown out to the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow night on national television. I'd expect a lot more. Take advantage of the energy in the Garden. The fans are going to be electric. The Garden's going to be electric. We got to feed off that energy. The team has to feed off that energy and bring it to the game. Feed off of it. And then bring that aggressiveness. Let that energy turn into aggressiveness. Got to feed off of it. Bench production. We got to have bench production. Last game against the Dallas Mavericks, the Knicks bench production, the bench basically matched the Mavericks. Last night, the bench got outscored by 30. Obviously, what's-his-name had 27 of those points. All right, the bench, the Bulls bench had 53 points. Kobe White had 27 of those 53 points. But still, there's 26 points, though, that still outscored the Knicks bench because the Knicks bench had 22. The Knicks bench has to show up. They can't get outplayed. They got to show up. And we need them to show up defensively as well. Make it the Luka show. That's what happened in the last game. Luka Doncic basically took over for the Dallas Mavericks. KP had a good game, but Luka took over. Got to make it the Luka show. Right? Make him isolate the rest of his players. Instead of them having ball movement, make him dominate the ball. He may have another game like he did against us. But make him dominate the ball. I think we can win that way. Guard the three-point line. The Dallas Mavericks are 4th in the league in three-point attempts at 40 per game. 39.9. 40 per game. We can't let them get loose. We gotta guard that three-point line, and I don't want to play a zone. Or we might get shot out the gym. Offense has got to get better, ladies and gentlemen. Our offensive rating is last in the league. Our field goal percentage is last in the league. Our free throw percentage is last in the league. We're 25th in pace. We gotta get something going. We gotta push the ball up the floor. Try to get some easy shots. We need to score in transition. We gotta get some movement more movement. It's getting better. We're trying to get some. Coach Fizdale was calling out plays last night. We still need more movement. Got to get this offense going because you can't win games shooting 41% from the field. It's not going to happen. Sorry. Can't rely on the other team to shoot bad with you. That's what happened against Dallas in the first game. The Dallas Mavericks shot 41% from the field, 41.1% from the field in the last game. So, you know, we shot 41.6. So, you know, it crossed each other out. We can't expect that to happen again because they averaged 45% from the field. That's what their average is for the season so far. We can't expect it to happen again. All right. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Really quick, I'm going to talk to these guys real quick in the video chat and find out. I'm just going to ask you guys real quick. Just give me real quick win or loss tomorrow because I'm getting out of here. I got to get to practice. All right. Nick, I'm going to start with you. Win or loss tomorrow. Yeah, Nick, you hear me? I don't think Nick can hear me, so I'll go to French Nick's podcast. All right.
What's up, Sim?
Hey, what's going on, man? Real quick, man. I know you're getting in here late. I got to run, but just real quick.
What's up, Sim?
Win or loss tomorrow?
I think I would say the win, but I think we will get brought by Doncic and KP, bro. Sorry.
Then we're going to get, so this is going to be a blowout?
Yeah, for us, I think. Not for, yeah. I don't know how to judge a game. It will be tough, but maybe Dallas win, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to come back to Nick real quick. Real quick, Nick. Just tell me win or loss tomorrow.
Okay. I'm hang on, I gotta mute some people. There's a 50-50 chance on win or loss. I'm gonna go loss right now, but there's some chemistry issues so far with Luka and Porzingis being on the court. But they're still working through it. And Randall has to win the matchup against Porzingis, and that's the unreliable part.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not sure. You're 50-50 on it?
I'm 50-50, man.
All right. Mark, I'm coming to you. Where you at? Win or loss tomorrow? Real quick, man, because I got to run. Win or loss tomorrow? Say that again. Say it louder. I can't hear you.
I said I want a loss because everybody's fired.
And he wants to rock his KP jersey. That's what that's about. He wants to rock the KB jersey. And then Peter, I'm going to come to Peter real quick. My man.
Lose every other game after this.
Peter from Belize.
Good.
Peter from Belize.
We can't lose this one.
Where you at? What are you predicting, Peter? A win or loss tomorrow? Can you hear me? I'm not sure if Peter can hear me. But anyway, I got to run, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get with Peter. I'm glad that he joined the show. All right. I got to get up out of here. I got practice in like 25 minutes. So I got to get to practice. All right. I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow night after the game, man. See what happens, man. Peace. Thank you guys for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. I'm out.
That's the